Nope, that's the wrong one. Um, this is gonna move my camera. No, that's gonna be too far. Okay. All right. So, um, as long as I'm not showing anything that's like personal, but I did not even tell the world that we are on. What up, Lucy? Welcome to the stream. I want to say thank you guys for being so patient with me as I set up on the YouTube side of things and also the Twitch side of things and get everything up and running. And I understand that, like, it's another work day. It's another what do you call it? I don't know why I'm losing uh my train of thought here. But it's just another day at work. But we're doing this today. Let me just quickly tell people that I'm live. Um I don't even have the live link. So this is what we are going to be doing for the day. We are going to uh watch the Arn Anderson interview that my buddy Adam did. I'm going to be reacting to it. I got his permission. And then we are also going to talk about AEW and numbers for like a little bit. And then maybe later we're going to play some Uno. Um so we're gonna do a lot of things today. And I hope that you guys enjoy. And if you guys do enjoy, hit that like button right here on the YouTube live stream. Share it out, tell a friend, bring them in. Let's have some fun while we do this. And what else do I need to tell you guys? Basically just thank you for being here. Um okay. Because I have the picture on my phone. Oh no, that's why I wanted to go through my my community post. So if you guys don't know, or you haven't used it yet, YouTube does allow content creators to have a community tab, which is basically like posts and stuff like that. And I'll show you what I post. I've been using the community tab a lot more, and it's been very beneficial in creating some type of conversation. And I put the picture up there so I don't have to like put the picture somewhere else online and then show it to you guys, because I have completely not used Twitter on my laptop for a good while now. So I just want to go through that. But let me tell people that I'm live, like the actual link that I'm live. Um, so there's obviously a lot of drama, but before we get into the whole entire drama, I think this is good because, the whole world, they'll know. Um, Before we get into some type of drama, I am Marie Shadows. I am the host and the creator of the Square Circle Podcast right here on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. And then I'm also on Twitch, twitch.tv/Marie_Shadows. And again, I want to thank you guys for being here with me and watching everything that I do and listen to me and my takes. And if you don't agree, that's totally okay. You don't have to really agree. I'm not telling you to agree. Like, that's not what's happening here. I'm just giving my thoughts and logical thoughts about it, about whatever we're talking about, whatever issues that need to be talked about, whatever issues that need to have like a little mini spotlight on it, and then, reacting to certain things. Other than that, it is a Tuesday. So let's just, hop right into what we are talking about. But I do appreciate everybody showing up. I really, really do. If you guys are out there watching, make sure to hit that like button. Um, okay. This is the Square Circle Podcast. This is where I have all of my posts. And this is the one that I was saying that, like, it's gonna be a live stream today, obviously, right, guys? Because we're live. So I basically wrote this, right? Because here's the picture. of the thumbnail. And then here's this also where it is, oh, it goes into the post. Does it go into the post? Can we see? Can, Okay, so it looks like I still have to read it from my phone, but that's the, it's from WrestleNomics. If you guys, you know, WrestleNomics, like, I look at their stuff from time to time, they do more of the financial stuff, and I think they may have more like hits than misses, but somebody would have to like correct me on that. But for the most part, they do end up asking for the information of how many actual people went to AEW All In London. So they actually do get the actual numbers directly from the government, which I found out like there's a way to do that because somebody was actually helpful rather than all the AEW people fans that was on my tweet back in August to tell me, oh my God, it was such a great show, great show. We don't care about numbers. We don't care how many tickets were sold. It's such a great show. And that lets me know that you guys can never run a business, because if you guys can never run a business by not wanting or caring about how many tickets you sold, how much money you made, then, it's not going to work out. Like, unfortunately, this is how we as a society created businesses, is that we have to look at how much money are we getting back? Because obviously when you create a business, you put your own money into it, and then you have to make sure that the public is interested in this, right? You have to make sure that the public is interested in this and they're interested in the merch. They are along for the journey, because if you're not telling about your journey, about your business, it's not going to take off the ground. If you try to just be like, very deadpan about your business, it's not really going to work. It's not really going to take off. So, for everyone out there that says that, oh, it was a great show, don't worry about the numbers, it was a great show. Saying it was a great show is not going to pay any of the wrestlers that have those big contracts, which, by the way, I'm getting ahead of myself. But like, some of that stuff needs to be said over and over again, because for some reason AEW fans just don't understand. And then they have their supposed fearless leader, Tony Khan, that, I don't think he understands business as well as he does, because he wouldn't be making rash decisions. He wouldn't be signing everybody. He wouldn't be giving people so much money. And sometimes money, the amount of money that is given basically can make somebody stay. And then, they'll just take the money. But, for the most part, you have to also realize that these wrestlers have to like sell merchandise, sell tickets, also market themselves. The only reason why it's not really pushed too much in WWE is only because of like WWE is already big, is already a big machine, so like they get everything already. But that's not to like compare the I don't know, contrast the years and whatnot. Like, that's not my intent on bringing WWE into the conversation. It's just the idea of like, most of that stuff is already taken care of, versus like, AEW should be able to end up getting sponsors here and there. But when's the last time they really got sponsors? And if they're not getting sponsors, like, no one's getting extra pay. And even if they don't get that extra pay, at least there's still some money in the pool just in case if some shit goes down, right? So let's go through my post. I say live stream today. We're watching the Arn Anderson interview by my buddy Adam Bernard from Foundation Radio. That's going to be in a little bit. And then we're also going to go over the AEW All In numbers. AEW fans are awfully quiet, telling a concerned wrestling fan like myself that the show was awesome / great doesn't pay the wrestlers huge lucrative contracts. It really doesn't. And then also, I think we need to stop pushing this narrative of that wrestlers should get an overpaid contract, because we see Tony Khan throwing out money here, money there, money here, money there, but eventually funds will run out and money dries up. And if there's no return on investment, which, if you ever wonder what ROI stands for. It stands for that, return on investment. If there is no return on investment, right? Because the talented wrestlers, I was gonna say the contracted talents, but yeah, the contracted talents, they are a investment because they are supposed to get themselves over. They're supposed to sell the tickets. They're supposed to sell the merch. AEW produces so much merch that is available online, and we never hear the numbers of who is in the lead of selling the most in merchandise sales. The last time we heard was what, CM Punk and maybe MJF. But for the most part, no one really talks about that side of the business when it comes to AEW and Tony Khan, which is not surprising, which is not a shocker. But at the same time, it's sort of like that should be talked about, that should be looked at. So yeah, the return on investment. You are investing in a Will Ospreay. You are investing in a Ricochet. You are investing in MJF. You are investing in, you know, Mercedes Moné and like these big names and Edge and everybody else that was there. You know, are they returning that investment? Every talented, every talent that is contracted should have some type of return on that investment that that Tony Khan has placed that investment on them. But it seems like it just really is not there. So I said, if there's no return on investment for the talent he's paying through merch, sponsorships, outside functions, you know, whatever the case may be, then he is going to continue to pay wrestlers, and those he'll eventually sign in the future. Like, you know, how I probably should have phrased it better, but like, how is he gonna maintain everyone's contract if eventually money dries up? And we've seen this. So, you know, let's not be delusional about it. And that's the thing, is that like AEW fans, including Tony Khan, has convinced themselves to stay in this Delulu land and be like, oh my God, let's put on the greatest show ever. And then, like, you know, tout it out as the greatest show ever. But then you're like, why are we doing this? There's no like logical thought pattern behind, like, why is this guy fighting this guy, or why are these two women fighting each other? And everybody don't want to talk about, like, you know, where's the story, but like, where is the story? Like, how did we go from Kyle Fletcher losing to Ricochet to winning against Ishii and then now getting a title shot against Okada? How does that work in the land of AEW? It absolutely does, because AEW does whatever the hell they want. And it's like, you can do that. You can keep that spirit of we do whatever the hell we want, but it still has to follow a foundation, all puns intended, because the Arn Anderson interview is on Foundation Radio by Adam Bernard. But the foundation still has to be there to set everything up to make sense. You can still be the rebel in the wrestling game, but it has to make sense in terms of storytelling. It's in terms of like theatrics, in terms of like practical stuff, logical stuff. You know, if that's not there, then what is the point? Like I said in my previous live streams and podcast episodes, is that if you just want to be indie, just be indie and get off of the television, like get off of the network, because indie promotions end up doing this every single month, where they book a bunch of guys and they may start stories, they may not start stories. There are some wrestlers that are very good in this business to try and continue their story / angle on social media, but come next month in that same promotion, that story is nowhere to be found. So if you want to run your business where it's just match after match after match after match, and there's no really true story to remember, then don't be on the network. Stay on YouTube. You know, do a monthly thing, because that's what I see sometimes out here, like in the Northeast, is that like wrestling promotions do not continue their story from month to month to month to month. And it's kind of sad, and it hurts the wrestlers, because then how are the wrestlers going to get in their reps to know what was good during their feud versus not good during their feud, if it's like a revolving door like how AEW once was, where like, you know, for this month you get this feud, and then next month it changes, and then the following month we go back to the first month of that feud, because that was a thing. That was really a thing. And then AEW fans think that the day ones forget about how AEW like used to operate and what they used to do, and then, you know, when we bring it up about like, you know, story and get us immersed and, you know, make us believe in stuff, you know, they tell us that we're wrong, and it's like we can't critique it. And it's like, yeah, we can critique it. We were there since day one, but your attitudes were just like, nah, get out of here. And then that's exactly what happened. That's why AEW keeps getting 600,000 in ratings, and it hasn't risen in what, 2 weeks? It hasn't gone up. So again, if there is no return on investment on everyone that Tony Khan is signing, you know, is he going to sign more wrestlers? The logic behind AEW fans' way of thinking lets me know that they will never and can't ever run a business if they think that having a good time while being in the red, but boasts about all the cash, pays the bills. Now join me on stream. To bring up another point too, is that whenever people want to use the forbidden door as a what do you call it, as a gotcha moment, as like, you know, oh, the boys do get paid, the people do get paid. No, no one truly like gets paid enough from forbidden door, because, you know, you still have to factor in the money from United States to yen. And if we want to play with the whole, the yen is down kind of thing, no one's really truly going to get like paid. They're going to get paid, but they're not going to get paid. But Forbidden Door doesn't really make all that money back once they distribute it to everybody, including staff members. Like, it takes a whole entire village to make sure that the stage is set up correctly, the rigs, the lights, everything from hair and makeup to costume. Everybody gets a piece of this pie, but for some reason, AEW fans have, and regular fans have convinced themselves that wrestlers should be the ones to get overpaid, and that everybody else doesn't really matter because, like, you know, the rest of the stuff is like a thankless job, and it is a thankless job. But for the most part, you know, there should be some type of like evenness, some type of, you know, if they pull their weight, obviously they should get a little bit more because like they're able to bring in numbers, and that's like the business. You got to make sure you got to bring in numbers. You know, Osprey could have, you know, all the great matches every single night. But at the same time, it's like, if he's not delivering on returning that, you know, it's not really going to matter. It really isn't. They all have to work together in order to get the numbers up there. So what were the numbers for AEW All In London? I could just go to the post because I'm surprised it doesn't pop up. From WrestleNomics, it says the turnstile count for AEW All. Oh, wow. They forgot to put All In London. 2024 was 46,476. We've confirmed, indicating the number of tickets used for admission. WrestleTix, which I don't really count them as a source because WrestleTix was originally like AEW like cheerleaders, and then they had to change it to WrestleTix to include every other wrestling promotion. So, you know, WrestleTix's latest estimate of tickets distribute was 53,385, and in parentheses, this is sales plus comps. Over 50,000 Over 50,000 tickets were sold according to Tony Khan last week. And every time that I'm like, hey, what is over 50,000? What does that mean? No AEW fan could tell me. AEW fans want to argue so bad about everything else, but when you ask them about numbers, they don't know. Or they try to quote like Uncle Dave or WrestleNomics or Tony Khan or something like that. And it's like, you guys told us for a whole year, rubbed it in our face that Wembley did 80K. But this year, you don't want to rub it in nobody's face. And that tells me a lot. That tells me that they want to still continue to have that chip on their shoulder because Tony Khan has that chip on his shoulder. And nobody wants to take accountability or even apologize to be like, hey, we are, well, when I say we are, meaning AEW fans are rambunctious. And most of the time it could be bots because most of the time people with a profile picture that ends up being an anime or a wrestler, would talk really out their ass and they think that they know when they don't know. And then they want to poke at people that know what they know and how they talk about the business and are really still like in the business. So we have this like thing of letting people talk for so long online that it's just like, you guys really don't know anything. Not even like the journalists know anything, but to get 46,000 tickets sold, like people going through the turnstile, and then he had to go and buy 10K more to try to, make it seem like, oh, whatever, whatever the case may be, make it seem like that. I just think that sometimes AEW fans, it's okay. It's okay to stay quiet. What I don't like is the whole poking of the bear and putting it in people's faces about like, we did this many numbers, but you have to remember that's an international number. The real numbers that matter are on United States soil. It does not matter about international. Yes, they can use the international numbers to have leverage to, go to Australia when they go to Australia in February for Grand Slam. They can use the international numbers to go to any other international country, talk to the government over there, introduce themselves and say, hey, I am AEW. We are a wrestling company. We would like to bring wrestling to your country. We think that it will be a great investment. We think that we'll get great numbers, great money, all that kind of stuff. They can use the international numbers for leverage. They probably can use the international numbers to get a TV deal, to negotiate a TV deal. But most of the time, networks want to see how well you do in America. And judging by the low ratings on both on AEW, Rampage, and Collision, they don't have leverage. So if you are waiting for a something about they're gonna have like a lucrative kind of deal when it comes to a TV deal, don't hold your breath because it's not gonna happen that way. But the true numbers, the ones that matter, are on United States soil. Tony Khan has found that he can make or even break even. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Break even when he goes overseas and sells tickets and puts on wrestling shows and whatnot over there overseas. So I will give him that. I would say that he breaks even. I don't think that he makes more than anything, but he breaks even. But AEW fans want to listen to the wrong kind of people in the industry, like Uncle Dave, that don't know what he's talking about when it comes to wrestling business, rather than listen to like the people that were actually there in the rooms. Like Eric Bischoff is one of them. Jim Cornette is another one. Vince Russo is another one. Like these guys were there hands-on. Uncle Dave has not been hands-on in professional wrestling at all, so I don't understand why you would take his word. Okay. And then my buddy over here saying that I remember a few years ago when Cody used to say in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Bullet Club is fine. Well, this is the same with the most toxic fandom about the actual situation of AEW, which is absolutely true. That, they used to be like AEW, well, New Japan, what is it? Bullet Club is fine. Bullet Club is fine. You know, AEW should be adapting that too. That you know. So that was that I wanted to talk about. Let's see what else I write on here. This with Gunter versus Sammy. If it does happen, I'm not interested. Oh, I felt a burp coming up. Sorry. I am definitely not interested, and I'm not really excited for it. Like, I just don't care. I really don't. I still need Sammy to go under like a character change or just something. I talked about our sponsor. I don't understand. Do you see this? I have a poll here that says, do you believe in Joe Hendry? Right? And who put... we have 90% that says, I believe in Joe Hendry, right? With the claps. Who's 5% said yes, and then 5% said no. Who said no? Who was the 5% that said no? I asked my community, they're excited for NXT No Mercy. This too about AEW being unsafe. Do you see this? Do you see this? Like, man, you know, Tony Khan has to return Ishii back to like New Japan Pro Wrestling in one piece. But everyone that goes to AEW has their career shortened and their career forgotten. And it's like, yo, don't hurt Ishii, man. Not at all. And then I basically say that we have a Reddit. If you guys want to join my Reddit community, you guys can. Yeah. All right. So that's the Square Circle Podcast. Guys, make sure to by the way, I just want to say a shout out to my Mercedes Moné and Tony Khan meltdown video over here. 2K views. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Thank you guys so much for commenting on this video alone. Thank you. This here too, where like Cody Rhodes versus the internet. AEW fans still have not told me how Cody Rhodes is lying whenever he talks about AEW. I just think that at this point it is an emotional ride for AEW fans that don't know how to regulate their emotions. And they would just say whatever, but never give you proof or facts about how Cody Rhodes did something or how Cody Rhodes lied, and then making wrestlers uncomfortable. So one day I would like to understand that. Watch my vlog where I get to have Lance Anoa'i in the vlog. I do Tape Study Tuesday where I looked at this and talked about the match and broke it down. People got upset at me for my Konosuke stuff, and I was just like, yo, this is Tony Khan's hand in the G1 where Konosuke is beating guys, and I'm like, yo, you don't really go here, so like, why are you having these victories? And people got upset at me, but I still make content about it, which is totally okay because I can have an opinion on that. I broke down Jon Moxley versus Naito right here, which is awesome because it really wasn't that bad of a match. There are people on Twitter that would just say whatever just to say whatever. Hey, afternoon, Aussie. I was about to be like, wait a minute, it's not morning. Like, I know I woke up early today. But shit, man. Morning to you and afternoon to you as well. All of my New Japan stuff where it's like, you know, Mox is like big mad and shit, and then this was a cold match. It was so horrible. New Japan's bold future that Tanahashi has talked about, and I'm just like, I don't think I've seen one thing that Tanahashi has done differently. And then the one-sided partnership, 2.3K views in 3 months. This one here got everybody talking, got everybody watching, and like I finally put it into a perspective of like why the partnership between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling is bad. And it still is. And I don't know, there's no benefit to it. Um, it is not like the TNA and WWE partnership. All right.